morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. And we begin with double the trouble and double the fun on the San Francisco Giants. For the first time in 30 years, identical twin brothers will play for the same Major League Baseball team. Tyler Rogers was already on the pitching roster, and now Taylor is too. They walk alike, talk alike, dress alike, and even have the same haircut. The only differences, 1 inch in height, 6 pounds in weight. One is a righty and the other a lefty. So far, their teammates admit they have no idea who is who, and manager Gabe Kapler says that until he does, he plans to call them both Raj. The boys fully intend to make the most of the mayhem. "We have some plans," Tyler told USA Today. "Once they can start telling us apart a little bit, then we can start playing a few jokes. There's just way too much confusion now, so it wouldn't even be funny." Added Taylor, "Yep, you just wait." Mother Nature is setting up some wild weather this week. From the west to the upper plains, temperatures over the next few days are expected to hit the skids. Some places will just be unusually cold and rainy, while others will plunge into a deep freeze with blizzard conditions. At the same time, in the south and partway up the east coast, the mercury will climb into what's record-setting territory for late February. Starting today, Florida, north to the mid-Atlantic, will be basking in early spring temps from the 70s to the 90s, which means records could be set from the Gulf Coast to as far north as New Jersey. Weather is also messing with the world's largest natural ice rink. Because of a warmer than usual winter, the Rideau Canal Skateway in Ottawa, Canada is quite literally on thin ice and, for the first time in 50 years, may not open at all this winter. Most years, around 22,000 people a day lace up for a trip down the 4.8-mile canal that winds through the heart of the city. Meteorologists are hopeful that this week's cold snap will last long enough to thicken the ice and allow for what would be the latest opening on record, but only time will tell. The two most powerful politicians on the planet held dueling speeches yesterday. Russian President Putin came out swinging first, accusing the U.S. of starting the war with Ukraine, then pulling his country out of a key peacekeeping agreement with the West. A short time later, President Biden went public in Poland, slammed Mr. Putin for underestimating the power of democracy, and said he can report firsthand that Ukraine stands strong, proud, and free, even after a year of shelling. Mr. Biden's remarks came one day after he made a stealth visit by train to Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Russia invaded neighboring Ukraine 1 year ago this Friday. Section 230. You might be hearing those words a lot in the next few days and weeks. It's a little-known law that's been called the 26 words that created the internet. But now the future of that law and the World Wide Web as we know it is in the hands of the Supreme Court. This week, the justices are hearing arguments in a case brought against Google by the Gonzalez family, which believes Google should be held responsible for the content it recommends to users, content they say harm their daughter. Currently, only the original authors of content can be held accountable, not the platforms that use algorithms to share and promote it, unless Section 230 gets changed. If it does, it could upend what we see on all the big players like Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. A decision is expected by June. In today's KidNuz Notes, Michael Jordan picked a very special way to celebrate his 60th birthday. Last Friday, the former basketball star announced he's making a $10 million donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's the largest contribution from one person that the organization has ever received in its 43-year history. A quick reminder for loyal listeners hoping for a birthday shout-out. We used to do them for anyone who asked, but the list became longer than the news, and we never wanted to leave anyone out. Now we offer the opportunity to send a special message to family and friends for those who support our podcast with a sponsorship. Information can be found on our website. Now, today's KidNuz quiz. What are the names of the twins now pitching for the San Francisco Giants? Tyler and Taylor Rogers. How long is the world's largest natural skateway? The Rideau Canal in Ottawa is 4.8 miles, but may not open this winter because it's been so warm. Section 230, which is now before the Supreme Court, has been called what? The 26 words that created the internet. Who just gave a record amount to make a wish? Michael Jordan with a $10 million donation. In today's KidNuz Kicker, got a rescue pet that can rock bunny ears? Then it's time to hop on over to Cadbury's website. For the 5th year in a row, the chocolate company is looking for an animal to rep the brand for Easter. But this year, there's a twist. Only rescue animals need apply. Until tomorrow, Cadbury is asking rescue pet parents to upload pictures and share their animal's story for a chance to win $5,000 and earn another $5,000 for the animal shelter of their choice. The entrants can be any species. Past winners include 3 dogs, Lieutenant Dan, Henry the Bulldog, and English Doodle Annie Rose, as well as a tree frog by the name of Betty White. The website to enter is CadburyTryouts.com. Before we go, we want to shout out our KidNuz classrooms, starting with Ms. Ansira and her classroom of Eagles at Scott Elementary in Naperville, Illinois, where the entire school starts each morning with the shout, "Yes, we can." Ms. Seberg and her fantastic 5th graders at Lafayette Regional School in Franconia, New Hampshire. To Wisconsin for Mrs. Hastings and her students at Mayville Elementary in Mayville, where they're rocking that Cardinal pride, and Mrs. Roop and her Huskies at Hoover Elementary in Neenah, and Mrs. Cairns and her fabulous 5th graders at Beck Centennial in Macomb Township, Michigan. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.